Good morning, and yeah, as you can tell by the light levels, it's just about getting light, and behind me you join me at the Islands Fishery. Now I've not fished this in a number of years, probably two and a half years, maybe even 3 years, and yeah, I decided that I was due a session back down here to yeah, try and nab myself a few fish. So yeah, like I say, it's just getting light. I am in swim 1, which is literally just over my right shoulder. When I went to book online, there is a booking system online, so you can check out what swims are free. It was a choice of 1 or 12, so they both kind of mimic each other within reason. But yeah, I've just been up and had a quick little look in swim 1, and yeah, it does look very, very tasty indeed. So I need to get everything out of the car. I've not brought a barrow because it literally is just a walk, sort of like literally what, 50 yards if that, up into the swim from the back of the car. So yeah, we're at the Islands Fishery, 36 hours ahead of us, 7 AM Thursday to 7 PM Friday. Let's try and catch ourselves a few fish. A lot of day tickets, you know, you're looking at everybody, you haven't got your own water to play with. But the good thing about the way that the islands is designed is basically no one can cast over your lines or, you know, fish your area of water. So as you can see, I'm in peg 1, Gatekeepers. Now basically you got 2 margins here that obviously scoop round. You got a channel there, island, channel, and then another margin pretty much replicating what's on the other side. Now this obviously gives you a number of different options. You know, you can fish the open water of the channels, you can fish the edges of the margin, you can fish up to the islands, again the channel, margin. And I know the way that this has been dug, there's like a deeper hole in every sort of swim, and I know from looking on them online, there's a hole that takes up sort of the best part of this left hand side here, in the shorter sort of, you know, a shorter cast. So there's a deeper hole here that's been dug out. I don't think it's massively deeper, you know, maybe like a foot, 2 foot, something like that, looking at the pictures, but obviously it's still a feature within the swim. I know looking at the again online at the swim maps, you got this island, and they slope off by about, you know, half a rod length to a rod length. So, you know, you can fish up tight if you want to, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to be the sort of the best idea with solid bags really. I might want to fish just at the bottom of the shelf, just to save them sort of rolling down or anything like that, just so I know that they're presented. Got a really nice sort of little hole here. Where are we? Little hole there, look, sort of, it just dips in a little bit further before this bush comes out, this big sort of bush on the corner there. Again, it kind of mimics the same on this left hand side, so that may be maybe an option. But within this swim, and obviously most of the other swims, there are 12 swims on the lake, you can fish 3 rods. And yeah, there's probably options for 6 rods or even bloody 9 rods, to be honest. There's so many options. But what I'm going to do at the moment is just watch the sort of water for the next hour, get set up, get the bolly and that set up. There is I think there is a rain shower due in. It is kind of meant to be a bit more sort of overcast and drizzly and rainy today, so ideally I don't want to get everything wet. I'm in no rush to, like I say, get the rods out. I won't mind just watching the water and seeing if anything happens. I have seen sort of some plumes of bubbles in short, literally an underarm flick, as I was walking into the swim. Just a real light fizz up, and yeah, I can just, like I say, watch the water, just sit back and just see what materialises over the next hour as I get myself sorted really. What I do need to do first though is go and get the net and the mat dipped, so I'm going to go and do that now, and then we can get in the swim, think about getting sorted. said that I walked into the swim, I'd seen some fizzing up, while the rest of the swim is flat calm. But yeah, just on this right hand side, it's starting to fizz up a little bit. So I think I'm going to just quickly get a rod out and lower a solid bag down onto that and see if I can nick an early bite. But like I say, I've seen a number of relatively large plumes of bubbles now, and I think I'd be stupid not to lower a rod down onto that. Made a solid bag, little pink krill, the juice, not the juice, sorry, 10mm krill and tuna, dumbbell wafter in there, sort of half the size as I normally make them, really small, compact. Like I say, I'm just going to go and underarm it, flick it out onto that area that I've been seeing them bubbles repeatedly since being here. Just lay the rod on the floor, open this sort of spool up so it's nice and loose, and yeah, just sit on that one rod just while I'm sort of knocking around doing other bits and pieces. But yeah, it's got to be worth a go just for an hour or so whilst I get myself sorted. Might just nick me an early bite, so let's shut up and get it. Set up, everything's tidy in its place, pods down, ready for the other 2 rods just to get sorted. But yeah, don't know if you can see, I've got a little mate with me for these next 36 hours. Islands Fisheries, you are allowed dogs on the site, and yeah, I thought why not. It's been a while since little Zig's been out with me. I still think he's quite tired, to be fair. I've been up since about 4:15, had a really crap night's sleep. But yeah, we were on the road by sort of, I don't know, 5 o'clock. So yeah, he's tucked himself up underneath there. Ain't we, Zig? Hey? Gonna catch some fishies? You gonna catch some fishies? Hey? First time out for you in a while, isn't it, buddy, eh? So yeah, I got him keeping me company for the next 36 hours. Whilst I'm rabbiting on, one fish has literally nutted out right off the corner of this right hand sort of bay margin. So as it scoops round right on the tip, about half a rod length off, as I was just sort of pottering around sorting bits out, yeah, absolutely badoosh. So yeah, that's looking promising. To be quite honest, it's only probably a couple of rod lengths off that solid bag. So whilst I'm just prepping those other 2 rods, just going to leave that one in situ for the moment. But it's definitely obviously an option over off that right hand corner, obviously to put a rod out, as I have seen fish. I have seen dotted around the swim continual sort of fizzing and stuff. So obviously I've not seen anything since I put that solid bag out, but obviously, like I said, I've seen that bosh on that right hand side, and I have seen sort of plumes of bubbles as well come up on the left hand side. So you never know, there might be a few fish just knocking around down there. As you can see, I've got t-shirt on. It's really muggy, like overcast. It's about 15-16 degrees. I know we've got some rain due in today as well, but yeah, it's, like I say, it's really muggy, really warm, sticky. Yeah, and I've had to do away with a jumper just whilst I've been pottering around, like I say, setting up and stuff like that. So yeah, it's looking promising from, like I say, from first the first hour or so being in the swim. It's looking encouraging. But yeah, I'm just going to sit down now, get these next 2 rods sorted, think about, well, I need to have a little lead around as such, just get my distances so I know how far they are, and I can just wrap them around the sticks, and I don't have to keep continually disturbing the swim. I know how far, once I've been around the wrapping sticks, I know how far they need to go to get to the desired spots. So that is going to be sort of like my next half an hour to an hour. Just going to leave that rod in situ for the time being, and yeah, hopefully we can nick ourselves an early bite. Obviously there's a slight rippling on the water. I've only just caught really the aftermath, but yeah, I was just literally about to get the sticks out of the bag just to quickly wrap around, and yeah, one's just sort of rolled. Nothing like the one that was over on the right hand side, but yeah, it's definitely a fish has just rolled there. Like I say, you just see the rippling on the water. I didn't obviously catch the aftermath of it rolling on it, but well, the bulk of it, I only caught, like I say, the aftermath of the actual fish sneakily roll. If you weren't watching, you would have never heard it. It was one of those where they just come up, slide back down, and you don't even hear a thing unless your eyes are on the water. So really crafty. And that bit is the sort of like the left hand side where that sort of slightly deeper water is. Obviously there's a nice trail of bubbles after that as well, so I think again I'm going to get another solid bag rod quickly made up and just underarm it out. I don't think I'm going to do any leading around just yet, because it seems like there are a few fish, like I say, knocking around in the area. So I think I'd be silly to go leading around and try, you know, like I say, just get my distances just now whilst there are, like I say, plumes of bubbles and fish knocking around. So yeah, I'm going to quickly knock up another solid bag, lower it down, underarm it down into the area where that fish just rolled, and yeah, see if we can nick ourselves a fish. Three rods are now out, so obviously the left and the right hand rod with the solid bags that I've flicked out. When I see those fizzers, you know, upon sort of setting up and getting into the swim, the middle rod, where are we? Middle rod is just gone over to the island, really, just a wafter, triple M wafter, and a small PVA bag of crumb boilie, a couple of little 10 mils and a couple of 15 mils, so just a real small little parcel, and I've just flicked that out into, like I say, towards the island. So there's a show there, right in the mouth of the channel into swim 2. I was about to say I haven't seen any shows for probably half hour, 45 minutes or so, but then yeah, right on cue, that one decides to show itself. So there are fish in the area still, obviously, even though, like I say, the shows have stopped. I'm probably going to give it another couple of hours before I start to think about, you know, just having a little get my distance for sort of like the island rod, and yeah, kind of getting a gauge on how far I want to go over to the island on the other two rods, really, and you know, where I kind of want to situate them. Definitely going to have one just off the island as it comes down, you know, on the bottom of that sort of island slope. I'm definitely going to have one over to the island on there. Obviously the right hand and left hand rods, I'm guessing one maybe over to the mouth of that, where are we, mouth of this channel, obviously into swim 2. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be the same over to the right hand side where I see those 3 shows earlier this morning. So just got to sit on my hands, I think, for the moment, just for the next hour or two at least, just until something looks like it might be something might materialise. Now I've just seen another show, like I say, base camp is set up. I've had a bite to eat and a coffee. Feel a bit groggy, to be honest, from the really early start. I have just sat down and just chilled out for an hour or so, but yeah, I did have a couple of liners earlier. I had one on the left hand rod, just a couple of beeps up and down, and on the middle rod as well, maybe where fish have been just obviously grazing through the area, mooching around. But yeah, they didn't actually, like I say, materialise into anything. So yeah, I think I'm just going to have to, like I say, sit on my hands for the next hour or two, see what happens, and then yeah, look to get some spots sorted for like the longer term, and look to try and make something happen. I have got bait with me, I've got some pellet and stuff like that. I don't really want to go too heavy, but yeah, I'm not going to be shy on the pellet side of things. So I'm going to hopefully be fishing obviously solid bags over the top. So we'll just take it, like I say, we'll just take it how it comes for the next couple of hours. But yeah, just wanted to give you a quick update really, that I thought the shows had stopped, but obviously not, going by that that fish that decided to just nut out there as I got the camera out. So I will catch up with you in a little while. Well, you would have just seen me wrap the rod up. So this is the rod that's going to be fishing to the island. basically I found somewhere that's got a really nice drop and relatively close, to be fair. So what I was doing is just casting along the face of the island, not too tight to start with, and just kind of working my way back really. I didn't want to go decorating the tree with any line or lead, so you know, when you're fishing up to an island as such, just work your way in, cast close to it, take off a couple of yards of line, get it around the clip and just slowly work it in. So I've probably taken, I don't know, half a dozen to 10 casts. But what I found is over to the right hand side, just where that sort of little yellow bush is, just in the little gap between the bigger sort of bush on the corner there, where it goes into the sort of little divot. Yeah, I found a really nice clean spot there. Around the left hand side of the front of the face of the island is a bit more sort of cloggy. It was coming back with clay on the lead and it was just felt really spongy, whereas dropping the lead into this little gap, or just on the face of this little gap, is going down and I'm feeling the drop. And like I say, I'm feeling the drop on the left hand side, but like I say, it's just a little bit more spongy. The clay feels a little bit more softer, and yeah, the lead is coming back with, you know, bits of clumps of clay on it and stuff, and I just fancy that right hand spot a little bit more, to be fair. It was just over 9 wraps. What I'm going to do is get the spom set up at the same distance, and yeah, just drop 2 or 3 spoms of pellet broken boilie over it, and that's pretty much about what I'm going to, you know, pretty much what I'm going to do with it, to be fair. I'm not going to go, you know, tanking loads of bait in, but just enough pellet just to slowly break down, you know, keep the attraction going through the swim, and obviously hopefully collar in any carp that decide to mooch around if they're getting around that island. So I'm going to quickly wrap the spom up, and like I say, I'm going to distribute a few spoms over the top, pellet and stuff like that, a bit of broken boilie, and then we can like I say, get a fresh rig on, get a fresh bait on, put it out there and kind of sit on it really, because that'll be that rod done as such. But yeah, the other 2 rods are still out at the moment. The other rods are still out. Keep getting liners on the left-hander where that fish showed. I just chucked it out over to the mouth of the sort of the opening that takes you into swim 2. Yeah, I've had 2 lots of liners on that, so who knows what could happen with that one. But for now, yeah, let's get this rod and bait sorted, and we can think about what we want to do with the other 2. Up, just going to basically prepare my spod mix, although, you know, it's nothing revolutionary. It's basically boilie pellet. So what I'm going to add is just triple end boilies. In here is like a mixture, 50-50 mixture of 10mm and 15mm. I'll just mix them in one bag because it's less to carry. You know, you put a kilo in there, and yeah, you've got, like I say, the best of both worlds size wise. So just literally one handful, whatever comes out comes out. Don't want tons of boilie in there, just chuck a couple more 15mm in there. But yeah, don't really want, like I say, tons and tons of boilie down there. I want more sort of a pellet ratio, sort of like, I don't know, 80-20, even 90-10 really, to be fair. So handful of boilies in there, and then I've got 3 different types of pellet going in. You know, what carp doesn't like pellet? Carp are reared on pellet from, you know, a very early age, so they're accustomed to seeing it. So yeah, like I say, I'm just going to bang a load of pellet in the mix really as well. So carp and coarse pellet, 6mm. The beauty of put a couple of handfuls of those in. Beauty using pellet down here is that there's sort of no nuisance species, so you know, you're not going to get hammered by all little stuff and bream, stuff like that really. So this is really going to help draw the fish in. Different breakdown rates, oils, attractions leaking through, you know, oozing out from your area. Hopefully, like I say, drawing fish down onto this island spot. So carp and coarse pellets went in. What are they, 6mm? The 6mm krill pellets, again, stinky, different colour, oozing out a different set of attractions. So again, a couple of handfuls of them. Already are starting to look pretty decent. We've got obviously the milky, creamy nuttiness of the boilies. You've got the carp and coarse pellets, which are, you know, pale in colour. You've got the red ones of the krill, and then halibut marine pellets. So these are obviously a lot more oilier than you know, most sort of generic pellets. You know, they're a high oil, high leakage pellet. So again, a couple of handfuls in there. So don't want masses and masses, but as you can see, you know, right mixture of pellets there. Give that a little scrape around, and yeah, that's going to be pretty much the mix, to be fair. Fishing a slip D rig over the top. This one was the one that I've just brought in, but I'll freshen that one up, so that'll all sit nicely over the top of this, mimic the free offerings nicely. But yeah, that's what I'm going with. So I'm going to get a few sponsors out onto the spot, get the rig sorted, and we think about getting the rod back out onto over the top of it, and then we're fishing on that one. Just before I get this rod out, I might as well show you how it's set up. If you watched any of my other videos, I'm not going to go through this in great detail. It's a purely lead clip setup. So you've got tubing, lead clip, oh, there's my eyes, 2.5 ounce flat pair, nothing massive. It's just shy of a 40-yard cast, so I don't need any massive leads. And it's a flat pair, like I say, 2.5 ounce, just in case it is on any of that sort of island slope as it comes down, which I don't think it is, because I'm getting a nice firm drop. I think it is at the bottom, and it might just be a little bit more cut away back there, because that obviously that bush does protrude out from the island a bit. So got a feeling I'm nice and laying flush on the bottom of that slope. So 2.5 ounce flat pair, and then like I say, it's just gone down to a quick link. So it's a quick, simple, easy, effective, and most importantly safe setup. So that's the terminal tackle end. Rig wise, I've just rigged up, so we're going to be using slip D rig over towards the island. Now it's about 6 inches, of just over 6 inches in length, and that is made up of the Jackal, Croston Jackal in 20 pound. Again, I'm quite boring. I tend to stick to the same material, same setup. It works everywhere I go within reason, and I don't feel like I need to change it, because most day ticket venues have very similar sort of rules and arrangements of how you kind of need to fish. So I don't feel like I need to change anything, because like I say, I go from venue to venue, and yeah, it kind of works, and like I say, it's safe and effective. So Jackal in 20 pound, that makes up the semi-stiff boom, down to, like I say, it's a slip D arrangement, so down to a bit of the braid uncoated with a bit of putty just at the break, just to pin it down, just to bring it down. And again, that's a Croston heavy metal, sticks and sinks like a brick. Then that's down to like a curved shank hook, a little bit shrink tubing over it. Obviously you have the slip D on the back, that's just obviously doubled over with the Jackal stripped back, so it's nice and loose, allows that swivel to move. And then mounted on there is a triple N wafter. So they've been glugging in the triple N stick mix liquid and a tiny little bit of sort of triple N stick mix powder. That just creates like a nice little coating on the baits, and just gives them like a bit of a shell really. So I use these triple N wafters anywhere I can get a drop and I can fish on the deck. And yeah, similarly, like fishing this slip D rig, it will allow me to fish on the deck and fish effectively. So yeah, I've got no reason to change really anything wherever I come. Like I say, this is a clay based sort of lake. It's been, you know, it's a man-made dug lake, so like I say, if you can find spots that are a little bit firmer, this rig is bang on for, you know, presenting a bait and presenting it effectively. So all I'll do before I cast out is just get a little nugget of foam and just wrap it around the shank of the hook, just to keep that swivel and that D in place, so it's not wrapping around the shank of the hook on casting. And yeah, that's pretty much it really. Like I said, I don't really tend to change much. I kind of stick to what I know works, and yeah, this definitely works for me. So I'm gonna get this on the rod, get it out onto the spot, and then I can have a little think about what I want to do with the other 2 rods. Here comes the rain. It was forecast today. Looks like that's going to come right down. So I'm going to look at the weather, and yeah, it's meant to get relatively heavy, I believe, through the next couple of hours. So who knows? Might just turn the fish on, push them down for a bit of a munch up. But all quiet at the moment. Rods are all out, and yeah, I'm just going to kick back under the brolly, chill out for a bit. Well, I have literally been brolly bound for the last 3 or 4 hours, but it seems like that rain is now starting to ease off. Obviously the rods are out, still out, motionless. The shows have dried up as well. I've not seen or heard of fish from, sort of like I say, being under the brolly for a number of hours now, really, probably, and you know, prior to this rain. So yeah, it's all a bit quiet at the moment. Now one of the bailiffs just come round, just sort of had a little mooch around the lake, popped in for a quick chat, and he did tip me off on a little spot apparently that does do fish. And you know where we saw one show sort of like in the you know, open area earlier, he said fish do get caught sort of underneath or as close to this spit, end of this spit, as you can get, really. So I'm as this sort of rain has died down now, I'm probably going to get this left hand rod in. The day is drawing on. I believe it's, you know, close to like 4 o'clock, so I don't really want to leave it too late. I want things to be settled, obviously going into the evening time and the night time. So I think, because like I say, these outer 2 rods we're just casting sort of like a, you know, showing fish rods, I'm going to have them both in. I'm going to have the left-hander going over to the edge of that, like I say, that overhanging tree there off the spit, and then I think the right one I'm just going to put out into the sort of open channel from sort of like the right hand side, where obviously I see them shows this morning. That's all I've really got to go on at the moment. Obviously the middle one straight out to the island, and I know that's gone down nicely and it's got bait around it, but I think what I'm going to do, yeah, is get this left-hander in, flick it over to the corner of that tree, try and edge it in as best I can. Obviously it'd be ideal if you had a bait boat, you can literally just drive it out and drop it, but obviously I haven't got that luxury, so I'm going to, yeah, just try and ping it over there as best as I can, as close as to the tree as I can, wrap it up, get it around the sticks, get an idea of what we've got to play with, and then yeah, get that back out. But as I'm saying this, that rain is starting to come down now, so I might have to just delay it by half an hour or so, depending on this rain shower. It is due to stop in the next hour or so, so I might just have to sit on my hands and be patient for an hour. But yeah, that's the plan of attack. Let's let this rain disappear and we can put it into action. What a difference half an hour makes. Grey, miserable, overcast, looking yeah, rather dull, and now look at it, blue skies, beautiful warm sun over our shoulder, right on my back, and that feels good. But we're still no fish. Gone from really confident this morning, arriving into the swim, seeing numerous shows, obviously fizz ups, and obviously putting rods on them, to yeah, slowly losing confidence as each hour passes. Now since that rain's been going on, nothing's really materialised, nothing's happened, the shows have stopped. But in the last half hour or so, I've seen a show down in the corner, down where this obviously margin scoops round to like a spit, something's definitely rolled in and around down there. So if that follows that right hand margin up, there's sort of my solid bag and a loose scattering of about 25-10mm baits. Again, that's replicated on the left hand rod out to where I saw fish this morning. I was thinking about trying to get it tight to that tree, but you know, I just wanted to fish in and around where I saw the fish this morning, and yeah, again, catty some baits around it. So the middle rod has been out for a little, obviously a bit longer. That's had bait put over it as well, so everything's sorted now. I'm not going to touch them sort of until basically tonight, if anything happens. If not, it won't be until about 10-11 tomorrow morning. I'm not going to faff around with them. I'm just going to leave them now. I know they're out there fishing, they've got bait amongst them. It's down to the fish. I've tried chasing fish today and they've not really materialised. So yeah, I'm just going to basically leave them now and let them just do their thing. So yeah, I'm just going to chill out for the rest of the evening, enjoy this really beautiful sun. It's yeah, really warming me through after a really dull and miserable afternoon. So I was going to sit on a bucket, watch out over the water, and yeah, keep these crossed that something might happen through the night, and if not through the morning. But we've got till 7 PM tomorrow, Friday anyway, so there's always, you know, got well over 24 hours yet to try nick one. So like I say, keep them crossed and I'll keep you updated where I can. It's just gone dark. Just had a real stuttery take on the right hand rod, lifted into it, felt a few kicks, and yeah, the hook's pulled out. So yeah, a little bit gutted about that. I've just quickly redone the rod, flicked it back out, and put a few catties, a bait over the top of it. But yeah, kind of waited all day for that one opportunity. And yeah, typically, like I say, real stuttery take, felt a few kicks, and that was it, gone. So yeah, never mind, but you can't win them all. Never mind, hopefully, because it's still really early, you know, I might get another chance. But yeah, not cool. So I'm going to get back into the bag. I did, when I was actually doing the right hand rod, redoing the right hand rod, just sat on the bed chair, the left hander had a liner as well, so there's a chance that one might even go yet. So seems like the fish have moved back down. Let's hope the next one actually stays on the hook. Look at that one, happy days. So after all day waiting for those bites that just didn't come, I've had sort of 2 in 4 hours. Obviously losing that one on the right hander. And then yeah, landing this angry carp, and they're still bushing out now. It's been a really busy night on the bushing out front. I've been hearing them left, right and centre, sort of up and down all the lake. It's dead quiet, dead still, and you can hear everything. And I've just hit bosh after bosh after bosh. And yeah, there is my reward for sticking at it. Angry common, happy days. That was taken on a solid bag, just flicked out just off the tree into that channel area, taking me into swim number 2, and yeah, sort of 25 freebies over the top. So I'm going to slip it back, get the rod sorted. Did wipe out the middle rod in the process of trying to land him, so I need to sort that out as well. But yeah, happy days, we're off the mark. Good morning. So as you would have seen, we had one in the night. Get in there. I've had a right mare this morning. Everything's damp, you know, dew, all from, obviously from the rain yesterday, and then that bit of sun right at the end of the day. It's made everything misty and condensated, and I had a bloody problem with the camera about sort of 10-15 minutes ago where the lens was all misted up. I was absolutely screwing. It then decided to run out of the battery, where obviously the cold's got into the battery, so then I've got it on charge. But putting it on charge and that little bit of warmth going through the battery seems to have dried the lens out, so I'm buzzing. And not only that as well, we have got a fish in the net as well. Right hander again on the pink dumbbell krill and tuna 10mm dumbbell wafter, the one we lost last night. That was on the same hook bait, so got that back out, left it all night, and it's rattled off now. It's just gone 8 o'clock, and yeah, there's a nice common on the mat, so I'm absolutely buzzing with that. I was not expecting it, to be fair, because it seemed to have died off as sort of, you know, the morning has started to come round. There's been thousands of boshes last night, and it was literally one after another. I've had hardly any sleep. I'm absolutely shattered, but it doesn't matter because we've got number 2 in the net. So I'm going to get the camera on the tripod. We'll get him out and have a look at him on the mat. The reward of getting that rod back out last night, they're still showing even more, even now after dropping that solid bag back out. One is shown probably about a rod length, 2 rod lengths away in that right hand channel, so fingers crossed there might even be another fish on the cards. But just had this one resting for a minute while I get myself sorted. Look at that one, lovely common, real nice clean common. Typically, you know, I think in a lake dominated with mirrors, I've gone and caught 2 commons, and to be fair, I could probably catch a common in a lake that don't even have commons in it. I always seem to attract the commons. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it always seems to be me that catches a common. But I'm not going to complain. On a session where bites have been hard to come by the sounds of it around the lake, this one has slipped up again to the solid bag tactics. So that's 3 bites, 2 landed, and the possibility of even more with those fish still showing. Ooh, but look at that, what a mega lush looking fish. So happy with that one. Give me a really twitchy take. I didn't even know if it was on to start with. It seemed like, you know, it looked like a liner, to be fair, and then yeah, just started peeling off the line. So happy days. It's just starting to spit again with rain, so I'm going to wrap it up there, get this one back, and get the camera under the brolly so that it don't give me any more aggro. So I thought now would be a good a time as any to just show you how I've got my solid bag arrangement set up on both my rods. So what I've done is I've got about a foot or so of tube in there, and that works down to a solid bag stem, which obviously just slides onto the stem of the lead, which is a 2.5 inline. And then basically as the main line feeds through all of that setup, it's tied to a quick change swivel. So obviously the main line's tied to that, and then just tucked inside obviously the inline lead, making it all streamline. So it all runs through the middle of all of that. And then what I've got here is a little quick change, like I say, quick change swivel, but a little mini anti-tangle sleeve, which really serves no property apart from obviously just keeping the rig in place and allowing me to change the rig quickly and get the rod back out to obviously maximise any sort of bite opportunities. That comes down to about 3.5 inches of Christon Supernova solid bag braid. Can't fault this stuff. It's nice dark brown in colour, obviously blends in well with the pellet contents of my bag. Down to a wide gape hook, and then obviously just a little bit of shrink tube on the hair, obviously just to trap the hair in place, sorry, and a little bit of shrink tube just on the eye of the hook just to neaten things up. Now what I'm doing is obviously on the hair of the hook I am mounting either a 10mm wafter of either the Juice or a Krillin tuna. So these are both 10mm, both wafters. As the hook lays flat or amongst obviously the contents, that'll just sit above and just naturally waft. And like I say, it's just kind of the cherry on the cake really of your bag contents. Now obviously all that, the rig etc, all goes into a PVA bag. I just tuck the hook bait into the corner and then fill the contents about 3/4 of the way up, pad it down with the lead, nuzzle the lead in against the contents of the bag, probably add, I don't know, 0.5 centimetre to 1 centimetre depending on how much I've got left on the bag. So I want to make sure I leave sort of a good centimetre, which will allow me to twist the bag around the stem of the lead, hold that in place, and then I can just tie it off with some PVA tape. depending on how far I'm fishing out, I usually just do a sort of licking stick, so you can just lick your fingers and twist the PVA bag around the stem, the quarter solid bag stem. But just for ease and compact, to allow me to just flick that out nicely with a nice little punch, I'm just tying it off with sort of, I'll just tear a bit of tape off, wrap it around the stem as you hold it in place, and then just tie a few granny knots. Doesn't need to be anything more complicated than that. So that's the setup that I'm using. It's done me 3 bites, obviously landed 2. I've just, like I say, alternated the colour, so I'm using the yellow, which is quite a bright yellow, where these Krillin tunas, they're more washed out. Pink have done me 2 bites, and obviously landed 1 of them, and then the yellow one from the juice pot, that's done me a bite, obviously both on each side of the margins. So that's a real quick rundown of how I've got my solid bag set up, and like I say, safe, effective, and you can pretty much use it anywhere. Look, whilst I'm hard at work filming, I think someone's feeling the too early starts and broken night's sleep. Look at him, them stupid ears. Chilled out, mate? I know how you feel. And there we go, look, the finished article, ready to be dispatched. Tight as you like, crammed, full of 2 mils, 4 mils micro pellet. There you go, a little pink wafter in the bottom. You can see the hook there, led flush along the bottom of the bag. The hook bait tucked in the corner, licked and sticked on the edges, tied around the stem, twisted the top off just for neatness because I'm OCD like that, but that is rock solid and you can cast that however far you can chuck it. So I'm going to get this one out, see if we can nick ourselves another bite. Having a proper sort out. Sig's just down there a minute while I'm just filming this, but yeah, look at that, drying it all off, getting it all sorted, organised, because there's nothing worse than getting ready for your next session and everything's all over the place. I've done that on my last session, it was an absolute bloody nightmare. So having a proper sort out, like I say, drying everything off, and yeah, just getting it all organised really. So the rods are still out behind me, as you can see, all 3 rods. Again, like yesterday, it's been really quiet. Nothing sort of happened. I've seen the odd show here or there, but yeah, it's just, like I say, it's just been really quiet, to be quite honest with you. I'm guessing probably whoever's coming in here tonight is probably going to have some success again, probably through the hours of darkness and early morning. So yeah, I wish whoever comes in here the best. I'm pretty sure you'll nick 1 or 2 through the night. It seems to yeah, seems to be looking likely that it's probably going to do a couple of night bites again, I'd imagine. But yeah, I'm going to finish off packing up this lot and just chill out, like I say, for the next couple of hours really. All the rain should now pass, so everything should stay dry. Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can nick ourselves a fish before the end. But like I say, I am happy with redeeming myself for the first 2 fish after, like I say, after that first loss. So yeah, a couple of fish off the back of a loss is always a bonus. So I'm going to leave it there and I'll catch up with you just before home time. So there's me trying to be all ultra prepared. Thought, oh yeah, I've got time for a little bite to eat before I think about obviously packing up and getting off home. And I don't know if you can see, it's started to rain. Because of course it would rain, because I've got everything packed up, everything dry, everything organised. Of course it would rain. It looks like it might just be a passing shower, it might not be too much damage, but it's just typical, you know, got everything packed up, everything pretty much dry. Wonder if we'll get a little spool spinner on these in the next half an hour. But going by today and sort of yesterday, I'd imagine the chances are pretty slim, to be fair. But still, I've had an enjoyable session. It's nice to get back down here after, you know, a good 2.5 years. And obviously nice to nick a couple of fish as well, you know, off the back of that 1 loss. So I'm happy with that. If you've got this far, obviously thanks for watching as always. I appreciate your you know, appreciate you watching and
spending your time watching my videos. As always, if you like what you see, feel free to give it a thumbs up, you know, stick a comment in the description box below. And as always, if you ever want to, anything, you want to chat anything carpy, then feel free to basically come and say hello on any of my social media, so Facebook, Instagram, etc. Obviously feel free to come and say hello, and yeah, ask any questions, you know, however big or small they are. But yeah, we're going to leave it there for now. Like I say, got everything packed up, the rods are on the deck. I'm just going to bring them in slowly one by one, and yeah, then I'll be getting on my way home. So like I say, as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys when I'm next back out on the bank.